And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Next question. I'm currently playing Sacred Stones, and I would like to hear your overall thoughts on the game. My overall thoughts, Sacred Stones is, well, I do have a slight bit of nostalgia bias, but Sacred Stones is a wonderful game. It's one of the most standalone and competent Fire Emblem games. Like, you don't have to go in with prior knowledge of the series. You can just go in and enjoy it. I think the story is one of the strongest. Cast 50-50, but the characters that are good are really fucking good. The music's fantastic, one of my favorite soundtracks. The game is a lot of fun. The level design is overall pretty good. Not the best, but overall good. And just seals your fate. Definitely has one of my favorite set of villains. And I just think it's overall really, really solid title. And also just like, I like how it doesn't like, I like a lot of like the fact that it's very much its own thing. It doesn't feel like too traditional for Fire Emblem game, but it's not too different either. It's kind of like, it's unique but not pretentious or radically different. Oh, nice little up for Lucius. So I really like Sacred Stones. One thing I do have to say though is the last third of the game is a bit of a I'm not too fond on. And, oh yeah, the reason I keep letting him go out, so again, you know, it just makes it easy for her. And also, the game is way too easy. Like, and the support take way too long to level up, in my opinion. So, aside from that, Sacred Stones is fantastic. Definitely in my top 5. I absolutely love Sacred Stones. It's wonderful. I look forward to Let's Playing it soon. You know, depending on Hector Hard Mode, I think it comes first. Yeah, see, like I said, and also, there are respawning units, but again, they come at points which is generally... It's relatively easy, and the respawning units are generally of the lower class, so they shouldn't give you too much trouble. So yeah, again, I like this. I like this chapter. Go forth, Nino. I think he's still got. No, it's a different question now. Okay, different question. What's your opinion on the whole thing in Warriors where characters can only use one weapon type? I get why they do that, but it also feels like a missed opportunity. Because I mentioned this in... I gotta play Fire Emblem 20. I mentioned this in the video with Max HP. And I posted this idea to him and he said, yeah, that sounds cool. Where in Ask the Warriors of Legend, your characters can wield up to 3 different weapons. Not all of them had 3 weapons, but they can wield up to 3. And during combo, you can switch to them at any point, but during combos, you can chain them together and go for some really fancy stuff. And... I don't know how Lynn got hit by that, but with Linda, actually, you know what? I got hit by a level up. That which doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Because now her strength and speed are equal. Jesus Christ, what is up with this Lynn? My Lynn is in the top percentage of Lynn. No, and secretly you see as Lynn's fight, you see Gwendolyn, Sophia's shadow just like there, like, yeah, that the RNG blessing is being passed down. Gwendolyn and Sophia combined, like, it's like, Lynn, we will support you. People think you're bad, but we will support you. We use our powers combined. I got my Fire Emblem 22. I hope we get to Fire Emblem 22. What was I talking about? Yeah, the thing. With some characters, I get why they would only use one weapon. Like, Hanoka, you know, using just a lance, that makes sense. Crom using just sword I'm cool with, even though like I saw in that one could be through a javelin. And Xander, Xander and Ryoma, I don't see them using other weapons. I know Xander can use a lance, but let's be honest, he doesn't need to, he's got Siegfried. Other characters, it does feel like a bit of a missed opportunity. Like, Leo, I'd love to, like, I know if they did show in this trailers and he can, but Leo would be cool to wield magic and swords and switch between them. That's a really good idea, because now I've got to play Thracia. It helps to keep the things going, because if anyone has played Aston, the way that weapon switching works, it's really fast-paced and it's so fluid and it just feels great. And all the combos also feel different, so that's really cool. Like, Camilla, I thought it'd be cool if she could use tomes and she could use axes, even though they are incorporating like magic into attack, so that's fine. But other characters like Frederick has access to the whole weapon triangle, so he should have been able to do thingamajig. Lissa, I get why she's using an axe and stuff, she's a war monk, but maybe some staff moves would be cool. I'm trying to think of other characters. Right now I've got to play Binding Blade. Yeah, like, I'm trying to think. Yeah, but like, I think, like, Lynn, people were annoyed that she can't use a bow, or like, from what we've seen. To be fair, like, I think it's kind of silly because base starting out, she's a sword unit, so, you know, sword unit. But if she was allowed to use bows and switch between them, that would be great because it would make the gameplay more exciting, and Lyn does use bows. You know, that would have been awesome. You know, if you had to use one, go with a sword, but still. Same way, like, if, Hector was in the game, he could use thingamajig. Or if Celica's there, she used magic and thing. I reckon it'll just be magic though. So I think it's kind of silly. It's not the worst thing in the world, but if they did do it in the same vein as Arslan, it would have made for one hell of a fun Warriors game. I mean, I have no doubt this game would be fun, but it would have been even more fun. Alright, next question. Alright, here's. Are you still watching Recreators? And if so, what's your impressions on episode 21? Okay, at the time of this recording, Recreators is finished. All 22 episodes are done. Yeah, it's got 22 episodes, but it only really needed 22. In fact, it could have probably done with less. My opinion, I'm still watching it. Yeah, obviously I finished it. In terms of my thing on episode 21, I don't think I'm in a position to comment at the moment, only because I feel like I have to go back and watch Recreators again to give it a proper, fair critical analysis. Because Recreators was one of my favourite shows of the entire season, not because of its writing or specifically its characters, more because there's so many themes and, you know, and what the characters go through and situations and hardships that I relate to, that Recreators just kind of had me by the balls the entire time, wouldn't let me go. So if I was to comment right now, I'd be a bit too biased, because all the stuff like they talk about where, and Sonia, oh god, why would I pause on this bit? Anyway, there you go. What was I saying? Yeah, like, the things, like, one of the things I love Recreators is that it's not really about the characters fighting, it's about the creative process and all the, like, how different people approach, you know, how different people approach it, as well as, you know, the things they go through, what they suffer from, and so on, and that's what Recreators really gets to me. Like, you know, it's not just YouTube videos I've done other things, even when I was working, doing my animation projects, or just working on things, and YouTube videos as well, that counts. Like, we all have different mindsets, like different creators have different mindsets, you know, sometimes you do get jealous when others are successful and you're not, sometimes you can't help but be a bit spiteful, but also we deal with a lot, like, we do deal with, like, even though I get way more love than hate, we do have to deal with quite a bit of hate. You know, not just me, a lot of YouTubers, like, you'll be surprised how many YouTubers, even the biggest ones, deal with a shit ton of hate. And it does hurt, and just like when you see people who, like, they're just better than what you even though you try harder, it does get to you. And because Recreators had that, during episode 21, I was just kind of really enveloped in the whole situation, even though if you think about it, it's probably kind of bullshit. So, I mean, to be fair, if it makes a lot of sense, then it makes a lot of sense, but I need to watch it again before I can give a fair analysis, because Recreators has got way too much I have way too much personal stake in it to give it a fair judgment at the moment. But I still recommend people watching it, anyone who's like the least bit creative or just likes really cool or just in for a good anime. I would definitely recommend Recreators. It's damn good stuff. Damn good stuff. Yeah. I think ask another question. Oh yeah. Have you ever wanted to play any Fire Emblem Wrong Hats? Yes, I have, because, well, the only ones I've seen are GBA Wrong Hats. I haven't seen any SNES ones or like a GameCube Wrong Hat. Okay, now I definitely have to play Binding Blade. Or no, Nino's hinting, put me in Binding Blade, put me in Binding Blade, put me in Binding Blade. I'd love to see what an older Nino would look like. I reckon she'll kind of look like Cecilia. What if she is Cecilia? Holy shit. What if she secretly is Cecilia? She has to change her identity because she was part of the Black Fang. And then Sephiel takes her down. No, he spared her because, like, she realized, yeah, you spared my life, so I'm gonna spare yours. No, actually, no, I'm not. You're dead. You're gonna bring you back as a second version. That's it. Yeah, I have wanted to play ROM hacks, and I will play them once I get through the main series, because I heard, like, Last Promise is really good. So, you know, in fact, if I ever, like, at one point I will try my hand in it. There's no guarantee I'll go through with it, because, you know, I don't know how to code and stuff, and I imagine it's very difficult. So, I don't know, like, it might be a nice idea, but ultimately not go through with it. But the ROM hacks I'm very interested to try, and if I ever feel like it, I might try my hand at maybe pitching a concept for one, or making one. Either way, I'm interested to try them, because I have ideas for my own Fire Emblem game, just they're up here, and I don't feel right about sharing them just yet. Maybe at some other point, but not right now. Yeah, so that's that. Next question is... We've got a lot of these to go through, so if I don't get through them in, you know, this episode, there's plenty of time in the other one. Next question is... And if you have more questions to ask, also go, you know, feel free to put them down. Have you played any of the Tales of games? The Tales games? And if so, what are your overall thoughts? I haven't played any of them. I own Symphonia, and it looks really cool based on what I've seen. Oh yeah, if I remember, I gave Fiora like pure awards, so it's just cheese vaulting. I have it. When I get enough time off, I do want to dedicate time to it because it does look like a lot of fun. And I've heard like some of the other Tales games are really cool. And it's a series I want to get into. Just, you know, once I get through Tales of Symphonia, then I'll see how I go from there. And now I've got to play Echoes again. So it's tied for Binding Blade and Echoes, if I remember. Yeah, this poor soul, he's not going to do it. And the next question is... Who is your favourite and least favourite character from each FE class? Keep in mind, these are non-promoted classes, so no paladins, no snipers, no Wyvern Lords, just base classes. So, for Lords, alright, it's now down to Lucina or Lyn, because even though I still love Erica, I can't... You know, I can only defend her so much when I'll openly admit, not only are Lyn and Lucina better units, they're also better characters. I have a lot of bias towards Lyn, and I do love her, but those two I think are better, so it's out of those two. Kind of leaning slightly more towards Lucina, little bit, only a little bit. Only a little bit, you know, and things can change over time. I mean, Lyn's doing wonders for me right now. Least favourite is out of Corrin or Roy. Yeah, I think Micaiah's better than both of them, because while Micaiah has her one, like, that one part in Part 3, she's stupid, I really like her in Part 1. Actually, I think she has a great character in Part 1. The way she disses Soph is awesome. And she, as a unit, yeah, she does have her shortcomings, but she can do some pretty good stuff, and her luck is insane. Roy is just kind of bland and not very impressive as a unit and a character. Corrin's a great unit, but, you know, I like the idea behind Corrin, but god damn it, like, do I not like him? So, there's that. For Cavaliers, my favourite is Sane. I love Sane so much, just because, you know, he's such a quagmire. Giggity. I love him. I love him to bits. My least favourite, it's out of either Trek, because he's just really fucking boring, I don't care, and I barely ever use him, or Alec from Fire Emblem 4, not so much for his character, only because in my current playthrough, he's like, I think he's like Arden shit. Like, he can barely do any damage, and even though he does double people, he's so pathetically weak, it doesn't matter, I barely use him. Yeah, Alec, I'm just like, ugh, why do I even have you? Just, you know, no, I'm not using him. For mages, my favourite is Ileana. I just think she's adorable. Not the best one out there, but still, in Path of Radiant, she's pretty damn good. Radiant Dawn, not as good, but good for the Radiant Dawn, for the Dawn Brigade section, and if you do want to bring her to the end game, just nuke everything with Rex Bolt, so there's that. Least favourite, Hayato. I mean, he's not a bad unit, I think he's more balanced than Orochi, but Orochi, like, Night Ninja has a massive output. Hayato I just don't like, because he's that obnoxious, oh, I'm a man, like, I'm not a kid anymore. It's like, shut the fuck up. And in most of his supports, I mean, the one for Sakura is cute, but even like the one with Rinka just bending out, like, don't be a fucking child. Yeah, he's boring, and I don't like him, and I want to slap him across the face. For Myrmidon, that's an interesting one, because remember, this is Myrmidon, not Swordmaster. It's out of either Ira, Zerark, or Joshua. Ira because she's just really fucking cool, and she's a damn good unit. Zerark because I really like his character, not the best Swordmaster I've used, but he's still overall really good, and he has the Adept skill. Joshua because not only is he an awesome unit, he's just a cool motherfucker, and he actually does quite a lot of Sacred Stone. So it's out of those three, leaning slightly towards either Joshua or Zerark. You know, Ira, the character is cool, don't get me wrong, but it's more because she's a unit. Least favourite, Hinata and Hisama. Yeah, just don't like. Not awful, but yeah, don't like him. For Mercenary, my favourite is either Raven, because, you know, I've explained in this playthrough, or Saber. I really, really like Saber. Saber because, you know, he's a cool motherfucker and a fucking awesome unit, but I like how his character does evolve over time. Like, at first he just kind of takes advantage of Celica, but he does kind of act like the dad because he has experience with this type of thing, and he is looking out for her well-being. He does care for Celica, so I really do like Saber. My least favourite, it's Jesse, or Jesse, whatever you want to pronounce his name, only because I didn't use him that much. You know, the thing is, Mercenaries and Fire Emblem I'm generally very favorable of. Actually, now you think about it. Shit. Now you think about it, technically Zavera's one. Oh, actually, yeah, it might be her. Well, Jesse, it's either Jesse or Zavera. Jesse because I just didn't use him much, that's all. Nothing against him really, just kind of Zavera's a case of, as a unit in Awakening, she was fantastic. She was one of my best. As a character, I would gladly slap her across the face and say, get your act together. In Fates, I know she's not a bad unit, but she always underperformed for me and just wasn't impressive. But her character was much better, and I think she was one of the best support characters in that game. So it's kind of 50-50 in terms of both ways. For Thief, my favorite's Matthew. I just love Matthew. He is awesome. Very cool guy. Not the best unit ever, but I like how involved he is, especially in Hector Hard mode. I use him a lot, and he's just cool. Matthew is cool. I think that's the best way to sum him up. Matthew is a damn cool guy. And now, oh, I definitely got to play Binding Blade after this. God damn it. After that, oh yeah, it was least favorite dancer. Do again only because don't use him too much. That's all. It's just because I don't use him too much. Nothing really against him. Just He has some cool ability. Like every time you hit someone, he takes 1,000 gold. So you know that's cool. But it's just a case of again he hasn't been present very much. And in one chapter, Nina's just wrecking all kinds of shit. God damn, this girl's amazing. Did she level up? Oh, let me have a look. So I just want to see. Oh yeah. We promote her next chapter. We don't promote her this one. But look at that. She's already level 15. I'm impressed. Look at that. Color me impressed. Color me impressed. What was it? So next class is Dancer. My favorite is Ninian and Azora. Ninian because, again, absolutely fucking adorable. Has, you know, buff boost. Okay, definitely got to play Binding Blade now. Is able to boost people with, like, buffs and stuff. What's this called? Oh, God. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and her character's lovely and just oh so sweet. As for Azora, I think I really like her in Awakening. Fates, sorry. I know people say she's boring, but I get that she's not the most excitable character, but I like how she approached the situation, a lot of situations. I mean, granted, in some stories she does kind of some silly things, but I like that she is kind of, you know, she is a lot more cold towards people, but in a lot of sports she does warm up to them, especially one with Elise, I think is fantastic. Like, she does have a kind heart, it's just that over time she's become kind of cold. But I do like how, also, I'm sorry, out of all the characters in, like, Fate, she, like, feels the one's, like, the most involved in each story, whether it's Revelations, Conquest, or Thingamajig. And just, you know, she's like what Corrin should have been, where she accepts how bad things are, but she ultimately perseveres through it, and she understands that, you know, she does get upset, but she has to understand this how the way things are. She can't just have it her own way. And she does, like, she is a bit bitter towards, like, both families in a way. So, you know. And also as a unit, like, she can buff, you know, she can make you dance, but also she's surprisingly active in terms of combat, and she's surprisingly strong. So, I love Azora and I have Ninian. Least favorite is, who's my least favorite, actually, dancer? It's either Tefes or Laylam. Nothing against their characters, I actually quite like Tefes a lot. It's just because all they do is dance. That's the thing. You know, with Dance and Fire Emblem, they can do more than dance, good for you. If not, nothing against them, it's just, you know, least favorite. And again, Nina, very sensitive. Like, after she heard about things, she's just like, oh, fuck you, bitch, you're dead. Like, I may be a sweet and adorable girl, but I'm gonna fight you. No mercy. You know, when Nino gives you no mercy, you know you're fucked. Also, Sonia has, the morphs have no luck stat. I mean, yeah, I don't know if anyone, I'm sure people knew that, but morphs have no luck stat. But not even Sonia can double Nino. I only did that for the conversation. Now that I remember, Jafar goes in for the kill. You know what? For a thingy video, she has surprisingly high defense. And yeah, Jafar doesn't kill her though. I don't think. He gets 2 criticals but doesn't kill. But again, like I said, he always gets criticals. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. Yeah, he gets a critical. Yeah, if the background does that flash thing, then that's an insta kill. If not, it's a critical. Ow. Yeah, and she's on 2 HP. I think a Hector kills her in the end. Yeah, it's Hector. I may only... Like, again, she's got good defense. Jesus Christ, this woman's got good defense. You also get the Felk contract from her, so it was the only way to promote, and we're going to use that to promote Legal in one of the chapters. Why do I keep pausing? Why do I keep pausing every time I meant, like, someone brings up the word perfect? I have no idea. But this is to be my perfect Fire Emblem game, but, you know. Well, that or Path of Radiance. I think in terms of design, Path of Radiance is overall more competent, but it also has some stuff I don't like in it. Both of them are fantastic, though. Like, if you had to pick the top 2 Fire Emblem games, easily those two. Yeah, you can't be murderous, so you gotta be careful with your items. Dark Mage, favorite is Faja. Again, I think Faja is slightly overhated. Some of her supports are actually pretty good, and there's quite a lot of growth for the characters. Yeah, some of the stuff she does isn't very nice, I'll admit. Least favorite is either Noel or Sophia. Noel because it's just kind of boring. Sophia because even though I like her supports and she got RNG blessed, she is bad. And keeping her alive and thinking he's a bitch, so, you know, what can you do? Fighter, favorite is Charlotte. I love Charlotte, love her supports, love her character. Her and Xander, one of my favorite couples. She's a fantastic unit, love it. My least favorite's Wade, only because I don't use him as much as Lot. I don't dislike the guy, it's just kind of, you know, yeah. Favorite cleric, Natasha. Really like her character, used her a lot. I think her support with Josh was wonderful. I just really like Natasha. Oh yeah, Nina has an uncle. Least favorite's Mulder. From what I remember, he's definitely a bulkier thing, but his magic isn't particularly good. I just didn't like Mulder because I found him, like, so boring. Like, I didn't care for him at all. He was, like, one of those boring Fire Emblem characters. I know he's not a bad unit, but I was just like, ugh, not huge on him. I don't care if he is a boulder. Favorite Troubadour? Elise, because Elise is adorable. Great unit, wonderful luck stat, actually can be quite potent when she gets access to tomes. Love her character, she's adorable. One of the cutest little things ever, and she has some really good supports as well. I love Elise. My least favourite is Ethelyn, or however you pronounce it. Not because I don't like her, just because I haven't used her much. Because remember, Troubadours like Priscilla and Clarine and Maribel I've used a lot, so Troubadours are like our class that's like, you know, quite up there for me. I like Troubadours. Favourite Archer? Takumi. Shion doesn't count because he's a sniper. Takumi because, again, especially in Conquest, very well. I think out of all the Fates characters, he's one of the best written. So, you know, there's that. He's a really strong unit. He has a lot of potential to grow. His weapon's fantastic. Some of his supports are very good. Even though he's a bit of a dickhead, I do think the way he's written is really well done. Fates may have shitty writing, but when it pulls through with like Nyx and Takumi, it's really good. Least favorite is Leonardo, only because I don't use him that much, and yeah, he's kind of underwhelming. I mean, he's not bad per se, and he does have his own like legendary weapon-ish, but compared to other Fire Emblem archers, not too impressive. Favorite woman rider, Jill. Amazing character, wonderful unit, love Jill. Least favorite's Heath, only because, again, the women riders are such good units and often characters. Like, when you consider you have Camilla, Ha, Cormag, Milady, Jill, you know, Shush and stuff, and, you know, sorry Heath, it's just, I do like you, I'm using this playthrough, it's just, you know, everyone else is so good. Pegasus Knight, Sumia, love her character. I don't know how good she is as a unit objectively, but it was wonderful. She's got such a personal connection with me. I'm actually, like, in love with Sumia. Least favorite, Thea, only because I don't use her much, and Shana I just prefer. Bow Knight, oh, there's a lot, yeah, the last class. Bow Knight, my favorite is Sue, just because I think her character's quite cool, and what she has to go through over the regret she feels. Like, also, yeah, Eliwood didn't kill Sonia in the end, you know. She went off, you know, they let her live. Again, I really like that. Eliwood doesn't actually go, he knows the fact that Black Fang isn't completely evil, it's all Nagal's fault, so he lets people go, even though technically Sonia should have, you know, Jafar should have cut her to pieces. Or in this case, Hector. But to be fair, I reckon she has so much defense she wouldn't be able to. So, Sue's definitely my favourite, and even though she's not the best unit, I really like her, especially because you get her early game. Least favourite is Medale, only because, again, not much use. I actually quite like Medale's character in the story. And even though, compared to Jamek, because he has the killer bow, he's not that great, the fact he's a mounted unit helps, and I like Medale, again, just not much use. But anyway, thank you all for joining me for this Q&A session and this part. So, Sonia is out, the bitch is gone, and we're on a home stretch towards the Shrine of Seal. So when we next meet, we'll continue the Q&A session, we will get a new unit, an enemy of sorts, and Eliwood is we're tackling one of the biggest chapters, and Eliwood will finally promote into a Lord. So until then, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.